How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining Shop Talk Live. My name is Rick Ramirez, also known as Ricks2Cents, along with my fellow co-host Steve from Steve Makes Everything.
Howdy, y'all. Geez, I never even
Hello.
brought up the comments here.
See, Chris said, "Good day from Down Under." Hey, Chris, I got something cool. Check this out. You guys remember this movie?
I'm waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting for him to say that's actually cool. Or man,
What do you think? This was one of my favorite movies as a kid growing up. So,
I've watched it.
I've watched that movie like repeatedly as a kid. Yeah. Our basement was flooded, so Rick and I have been going through everything. So it caused us to go through boxes and just, I guess, do a big house cleaning we should have done maybe a long time ago. But I found cool stuff like this, so a lot of things my wife threw away on me. But yeah, very cool.
I mean, we have a big house and there's only two of us, and so you just collect stuff, right? And it's so earlier in the summer, well, probably in the spring still, we got a dumpster and filled it, and it's like, okay, now we can, now we actually have space. Of course, the next step is let's go out and buy something and fill it up again.
Yeah, so that was exactly it. I had a lot of stuff, and some stuff I was holding on to, and some stuff that like my wife was just throwing away that she just had no idea what it was worth.
Yeah,
I have, coming from as a lineman, I have some specialty tools that may not look like nothing, but are worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Like she threw away this little plastic handle. Now I'm going to see if I can 3D print it. It looks just like a handle that's off of like a fishing rod, right? And I was like, hey, did you see this little plastic black handle? She's like, what? And I show her a picture of it. No, I know I do. I know I do. I'm like, look, it was in this box, and it got wet, and you threw out all the stuff that was in it. So this pile of small amount of tools, I know I had more in there than that. So I went on eBay and I showed it to her. It was like $786. I'm like, see that? That's a $4,000 tool that's used $786. So I'm like, so do you remember what you did with that? So if you threw it out, just tell me. I'm gonna stop digging for no reason at all, But I don't know. She's one of those women. She won't fold. She'll just keep denying.
well, nope. I must be married to her sister then.
Nope, just throw it out. I know you did. Why do you always say I moved it? Because I know where I put it. I'm like, when I walk in the house, I take my shoes off, put them right there. When I take my keys, I put them right there. I'm like, I do things very routinely, and when something's not in place, I know, right? Why would you say I moved it? Because I know.
My wife routinely hides things on me, and not in like she does. It's not intentionally hidden. She moves it somewhere, and then forgets where she put it. And the sweetest days of my life are when she loses something of her own, and she says, "Well, have you seen this thing? No, you moved it somewhere." And then she starts shuffling. I said, "It bothers you, doesn't it?"
Yeah,
because it bothers me when I can't find stuff.
Exactly. Now you know how it feels. Yeah. Ordinary Woodworker said hello from Washington. Hello.
Hey.
Radui sent me a message on Facebook, and he said, hey, brother, did you block me? Are you getting tired of my dad jokes? And I was like, no, I didn't block you.
Block him?
And I said, by the way, if I blocked you, how would you be messaging me? He's like, oh, I didn't think about that one. Like, for whatever reason, I can't comment on some of your posts. So I don't know if I have a professional account, if it blocks certain people from commenting. I don't know. If it's a public post, you would assume anyone can comment, but apparently I had a public
in a video, post. You mean? Or like is it on Facebook or
on Facebook? Yeah, he saw a Facebook public post and he tried to comment on it because he saw it was me, but he couldn't. It wouldn't allow him to. And I'm like, you're messaging me. So if I had blocked you, you wouldn't be able to message me. You'd be blocked, So I don't know. Yeah,
it's one of those Facebook mysteries.
Yeah, the security settings. Ordinary Woodworker said, hey, Chris. Uberf said, howdy, y'all. Hello.
Woofer.
Appreciate everyone checking in. It's good to see our regulars back in. Let us know if you have any questions. Chris said, nope, didn't throw it out. Just our safety stored it in the rubbish bin.
That's your Mad Max thing there.
Yeah. No, she didn't throw it away. She just,
The road warrior.
Yeah, exactly. She didn't throw it away. Yeah. Oh man. I had a tool that somebody wanted to buy and basically could have paid for my Disney trip. And they had no idea what it was, and they threw it out. And I was like, man, someone said, yeah, you still have this? Yeah. Do you use it? No. It's been sitting in my garage for years. I said, I'll give you this for it. Yeah, sold. No problem at all. Okay, call me when you get home. Went home, I'm searching the whole garage. Nope. He's like, dude, man. I was like, that was literally our entire Disney trip would have been paid for by one tool. But it's like, yeah. Chris said maybe it's the rating on the dad jokes.
Yeah.
It was non PG-13 and Facebook didn't approve it. I don't know. It's a good evening from Wisconsin.
Hey, David.
Oh, okay. Larry said hello from how you say this?
Kennewick,
Washington. My first time here. Thank you,
awesome.
Larry, for joining. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you. Let us know. I'm getting tongue-tied here. Thank you for letting us know where you're joining from. If you have any questions, let us know.
You must need a beer or something.
Yeah.
Maybe you should.
I haven't got one in me yet. Brad Dewey said, "Dad jokes are eye rolls, or how eyes roll."
Roll.
Dad jokes are how he rolls.
No, how I roll. Yeah.
Yeah. I get that all the time. The dad joke, at work when the guys are younger than me, and I'd say a joke, and they'd say dad joke. I thought that was funny. Like they're classifying me as an older man now.
That's got to be terrible.
Tony said, I put it where I would not forget it, and I lost it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do that once in a while when I do it myself, but
yeah. So before we were live, Steve and I were talking, and I said, we're going through some crazy economical times. We don't try to hit crazy politics, but we do talk on things that affect us directly as far as the economy, our businesses, our families as a whole. And I was just saying that these tariff reimbursements that are going to these billion-dollar corporations, they're being reimbursed. And I would say, and you could say if I'm wrong or disagree, but I would say the bulk of companies did not directly take on that blow of those tariffs. They directly affected the consumer price by increasing the price, because it cost them more, right? They passed the buck on the cost. So who really paid that tariff was not the manufacturer, it was the consumer, right? So when we refund these manufacturers billions of dollars that whether you want to argue legally or unlegally tax them, shouldn't we get that money back? That's all I'm saying. Because I know some companies right now that they definitely, like Onefinity was Onefinity had at the top of their website. Even after I had ordered my CNC, I was scared. That's when that whole tariff thing happened. Like, are you going to all of a sudden say I owe you $3,000 or $4,000 that I don't have? How's that going to work? And Onefinity said, nope. Whatever it is, however bad it is, they're just going to take the licking. And that's, to me, that's stand up. That's the type of business, type of customers that, they're probably lifetime. People become very loyal because they remember times like that. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
I will point out that that's a good Canadian company.
Maybe that's why, because the Canadians are so nice, I don't know.
Well, yeah, we're not all nice, but I suspect part of it is they didn't want to redo all of their invoices, right? Because they would have had to. So it's probably more work to do that than.
Yeah, but honestly, like that was a big obligation on them to take on on themselves, right? Because they could have easily just said, this is beyond our control. These are government mandated, blah, 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 blah. And by the way, you owe us this money. Otherwise, whatever, and but they chose not to. And so many companies did. So to me, that says something. That says something about a company. Their moral compass, right? Too many people nowadays, the corporations don't have a moral compass.
Yeah, it's too easy for them to just keep your money, right?
Exactly.
I don't know. It's all just a glorified wealth transfer from make middle class people poor and rich companies richer.
It's crazy. Prison Prince said, hello, still in Chicago for another month and a half, then I go back to South Carolina. All right, well, we'll have to get together for you leave to make that happen. So a month and a half, huh? We got some time, but that'll go by quick. It's Radu, not Radui. Okay, Radu.
I was going to say something, but I don't want to get into the middle of it.
Santa's late in grade said, what's up, everyone? Rick looks taller on his soapbox. First thing I hear when I got on here, laugh out loud. No, Dan. Like I said, I wasn't trying to jump on the bandwagon of politics, but I just thought it was something worth mentioning.
Well, we all live in the real world, right? The economy is like something we have to survive sometimes.
Yeah. Uber first said Nintendo not only rose their prices but also kept the tariff refund.
Yeah, see, and that's where things get bogus, right? Like they're basically double billing you for some portion of what you bought.
Yeah, like I was telling Steve though, is that at what point, let's just say, I'm just making something up now. Don't hold my feet to the fire. Eggs, they go from 99 cents a dozen to $12 a dozen, $6 a dozen. And you pay that. At one point, does the company go, we should go back to 99 cents? No, that ain't happen.
Yeah.
You got used to paying $12 now. Well, their price goes back to normal. They're still charging $12 because you're used to paying, right? Like,
so eggs here, if they're on sale, they're like, I don't know, $3.50 or something. But $4.50. And that's Canadian dollars, right? That's like you paying $2 for a dozen eggs. Yeah. And people still complain about it. Oh, look at the price of these things.
Yeah, it's crazy.
When I buy a chicken, right? You can just get a chicken.
Laugh and they're like, that's so stupid. Why would you buy a chicken? Like, eggs are so cheap. The amount of time you feed them, you do this, you do that, you care for them, it's way more. I was like, I know, but it's just cool that you have your own and the eggs are fresh and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of people buying chickens now. Never had chickens before. That's for sure. Chris said the next time they try to raise prices, tell them you're using your share of the tariff refund or they're holding it for you. Yeah, good luck with that one.
Yeah, taking back some of the credit you extended them.
Exactly. Crazy. Bo the Maker said, you're 100% correct on the tariffs being passed on to the consumer. I know quite a few small business owners that had to swallow a large bill in order to receive imported products. Yeah. We joke all the time about coasters, right? And I had bought right before all that from Alibaba like 10,000 slate coasters and a bunch of, I don't remember cork, but I definitely 10,000 slate. And I could sell them now and make money without even engraving them because how cheap I got them. You can't get them that cheap now.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I got to the point where I just don't send things to the US anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's not because, hey, I don't want to do the paperwork. There's extra paperwork now, but it's because if I try and sell something, it's going to be twice what it should cost, right? Like it's just not sensible. And then you have to listen to people complain about the cost. And it's like, hey, it's not me, right? It's your government causing this.
Yeah. Just crazy right now. Bouldermaker said, unfortunately, those same businesses cannot take their customers to cover the cost of the tariff because when they purchase, there was no such thing as tariff. Yeah, that's what we're talking about with Infinity. Right at the top of their website, big bold letters. Right at the top of their emails, they sent you big bold letters. They were very strong opinionated to say that they were unaware of what exactly is going to happen with the tariffs. But whatever it is, whatever it was, they were going to eat it. To me, that was like that was insane.
Yeah. So, I
Because,
mean, in their case, since they didn't pass it on to the consumer, if they get a refund back, great, right? It helps, it brings profit back to their business, right? So,
well deserved.
But they didn't screw anybody over to get it. So,
exactly. Yeah. Reduce said, truth is treason is an empire of lies. Yeah.
Yeah, George Orwell.
Want to take this one?
Chris says oil prices go up at the source. Prices go up at the pump the same day. Yeah, and then it takes a long time for them to come down at the pump compared to the market. Yeah, I always wondered that myself, and they always justify it with, well, it's reserves, it's this, it's that. It's like, well, how come it went up the same day?
Yeah, exactly. But it's what goes up must come down. They didn't say it at the same time.
I gotta say, when the price of oil went up, a lot of people I know who said they would never drive an electric car are now shopping for them.
Yeah. I laughed because I said, when you first saw a Tesla, it was like, oh wow. I mean, I remember my son, every time we drove past a Tesla, it was like, look at that, it's a Tesla. Because they're rare, and it's like a normal car here now. Like,
yeah,
it's not a big deal,
Yeah, when I moved to the East Coast, in my province, my jurisdiction here, my car was like the 30th electric car that was licensed in the province, and the lady at the counter at the license place said, one of the questions she asked me was, how many cylinders does it have? I said 0. She went, what? I said, it's electric. Oh.
That's funny.
And in 7 years, they're everywhere now.
How does it work with license plates in Canada?
What do you mean?
On your car, do you pay per year? How do you
you can get a 1 year. It's just a sticker you put on your existing plate, right? I do mine every 2 years.
Oh, okay.
And it's like,
so in my state,
$80 a year or something, $70 a year.
So in my state, it's every year for a sticker. But there's some states in the United States that they're lifetime plates.
Yeah.
And in my state, the only lifetime plates are smaller trailers, not vehicles. But I guess large corporations like trucking companies and things like that own fleet vehicles. They will set up an LLC in another state that has those advantages because, they have 200 vehicles, 400 vehicles, and they're paying $350 a pop. That adds up, right? So
that's why there's so many LLCs in Maryland, right? Because they have fairly light regulation on businesses.
They're making a killing doing that, right? And they know that. Tim said, what really hurt was the $800 order limit from the U.S. was not tariff. So the man to the south killed that. Now I can't order from states without a huge duty. Yeah. It's crazy.
Well, some of that, in fairness, is the Canadian government putting extra taxes incoming on, like the duty is a incoming.
Larry said, "I'll never drive an electric vehicle." And
some people say that. My neighbor actually across the street, he drove like some big gas guzzling truck of some sort, and I noticed he had a Chevy Bolt parked in his driveway, and I stopped and talked to him, and I said, "Hey, I see you got a new car." He said, "Yeah," and unsolicited, he said, "I don't think I'm ever going to drive another gas car."
Oh wow! Yeah,
it's the cost, right? Like I have paid the only maintenance since 2018 on my car, so it's 8 years old. The only maintenance I've had to pay for is I had to buy a new 12-volt battery, which was $100.
That's crazy.
And
so what's the
life? My fuel is free. It comes off my solar panel. So
what's the life expectancy of the main battery?
The warranty is 10 years. So
how much is the car?
I don't know. I don't remember, but they're about 48,000 here now, I think, to start.
So 48,000, you drive it 10 years, you got your money worth. Nobody's complaining.
Yeah.
I'm saying if the car is just trash, after 10 years.
Yeah, I'm just going to drive mine into the ground. Like I used to buy a new car
yeah.
every couple of years. And now that I'm retired, it's like, well, I don't need a shiny new car. And
right.
So I'll just drive it until, I mean, the only thing that's ever going to go bad is the battery.
Right.
And if it lasts 10 years, you know, whatever. So,
yeah, because that new Hummer looks awesome. But,
yeah, they're coming out with an electric Hummer, right?
Yeah, it's an electric Hummer, but it is kind of like, you know, like I don't get this when Dodge came out with these like Hellcat style electric cars that have speakers that sound like roar. That's stupid. Look.
Yeah, don't put the noise. Don't put the noise.
Yeah,
on.
don't. Like I was picking my son up from school last year, and one of his friends' moms was driving by me, and the car was playing a song like a like this weird like sound like a Freddy Krueger like scary theme.
There's some jurisdictions where people have this. New York is one of them, right? Where they decided that electric cars should make some kind of noise because they're too quiet, and they might run over a pedestrian who just wanders out in traffic. Well, really,
yeah.
But think about you're driving your electric car in Times Square. Who the hell is going to hear any noise, right? There's so much noise there anyway.
Yeah, so I was just walking in the parking lot to pick him up from school, and this car is just like cruising like along the side of me, like allowing me to walk, you know. But because the car literally made no noise, it literally had a speaker that was playing this weird noise.
Yeah,
and I was like, "What is that about?"
Yeah, they were talking about doing it here too. Your car below 30 miles an hour, about 50 kilometers an hour, had to make some kind of noise. So residential. They didn't say what kind of noise it was. So my choice of noise would have been like a Saturn V rocket, just constantly. 3 o'clock in the morning, drive through neighborhoods really slowly.
It's playing 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. What the heck? Come on, see, you're a software developer. You sure you can mod that?
No, Tesla would make that an option anyway.
You're gonna make a killing. You can be able to edit your own own low speed sound.
It's like you know back in the day when people made their own ringtones, right?
Yes, I did. And what's funny was that ringtones are so expensive back then that people would literally pay me. Like, hey, I want this song or that song, and I'd make custom ringtones and send it through them to a text message. And I'd even send it through the Sprint server. Don't ask me how I did that, but you know, it was kind of crazy. TTC 1940. Good evening from Chicago. Better late than never. Thank you. Better late than never. You're absolutely right.
Last I spoke to Jim, he was making a little progress on his glass engraving.
Oh man!
Hopefully, fingers crossed, he's still on the positive side.
Trade School Anonymous said, "Hey folks, traveling again this week. Checking in for Memphis, Tennessee. Hope everyone's doing well and amazing. Thank you for checking in, brother. Thank you. Yeah.
Good to hear you back.
You want to take this one?
Bo the Maker says large electric vehicles that have low mileage limits are just weird. I assume you mean like the range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget what kind of car it is, but it's like a little 2-seater. It's really, really small. Like it's electric.
Probably like a smart car.
Yeah, electric smart car.
They're terrible.
It's only a 2-seater. I forget who makes it.
Mercedes actually owned that company. I think they shut it down now. But.
Yeah, but I saw them on Facebook Marketplace. It was 2 of them for $3,000, and somebody put vinyl stickers and wrapped them to make it look like a Super Mario Brothers race car.
Well, they kind of are that way.
Yeah,
I took one for a test drive years ago, and like you're holding the steering wheel, but if you look down, you're literally looking at the road. Like there's no like hood out front to speak of. Like I wouldn't want to get hit by a truck or something with those things.
Yeah, you're definitely
gonna just get crushed
in a tuna can. But I told my wife, I was like, wouldn't it be so awesome to race these in the backyard, say go-karts? She's like, you're so stupid. I'm like, dude, you can't tell me that wouldn't be so awesome.
Just take the body off it and turn it into a go-kart.
Yeah. It was funny. There was two of them. They were selling them in pairs, but it's funny that they put the stickers on them like that. Tony said, "What about things like lube jobs?"
Not required. Like
No?
there's just like you look underneath the thing and there's nothing there. Like it's just smooth. It's a smooth plate. I mean, you don't have to do lube jobs on wheel bearings anymore. I mean, they're all sealed bearings, right? So there's really no maintenance.
So
And the only reason I got my battery replaced was because they got this little thing up on the display that said the battery was not performing as it should. So what's cool, the guy who owns Tesla is a bit of a maniac, but what's cool about it is from my car, I could book an appointment, just push this button here and book an appointment. And that was kind of cool.
Yeah. I saw people with stickers on their car that says, "I bought this before he got into politics."
Yeah, there's a couple of them. One I saw was, "I bought this before Elon went crazy" or something.
Yeah. That's crazy to think though, like zero maintenance. That then you have to think about
pretty low. It's pretty low maintenance. I mean, you put windshield washer in it, but that's it. Right, there's no radiator fluid. There's none of that kind of stuff, right?
You got to kind of think of that into your like actual cost though, right?
Well, just figure oil changes, right? Like
$150.
Yeah.
Every 3,000, 5,000.
I mean, everybody uses synthetic oil now, so it's going to be expensive, and
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. I drove my car, I picked it up, and the first time they saw it back at a dealership was this past like 6 months ago when I got the battery changed.
That's crazy. Chris said, "I'll avoid an electric car until the performance is the same as petrol."
You mean worse?
Is impacted relevant, but it's getting harder to buy a non-electric hybrid vehicle. I thought the Tesla, like the X models, they're pretty fast. Like
my car will hit 60 miles an hour in like 3.5 seconds.
Yeah,
there's not too many gas cars that'll do that. At least not normal cars. Like my car is like just a normal sedan, right? Like,
right. Yeah, that's why I used to like my Chrysler 300 because it looked like a grandpa car, like it looked kind of like a Cadillac, right? But it had an SRT8 motor in it. You just tear apart a Corvette, and they're like, "What happened?"
Yeah. Problem is, you just watch that gas gauge just drop.
Oh down. Yeah, literally, you could literally stomp it and see the needle move literally from stomping it. The little Riceberg on a race, you're like, dude, I'm gonna waste like $12 in gas just to prove that I could whoop you. Like, stop.
Santa says, my problem with the electric car is the power grid sustaining them. See, I hear this a lot. The power grid isn't, well, I don't know what the power grid is like in the US. I know Texas is a bit dodgy sometimes, but the power grid should handle this. This is not a big concern. I mean, my car, 99% of the power I put into it comes off my own panels, but I like I said, I hear this all the time. And
you think of states like California, right? California's like has a huge, high dense population, right? For a small area, and they push for these solar panels, push for this eco, to be eco-friendly, blah blah blah. They're that type of state. It's not saying anything bad, but they're like a state ahead of their time, so to speak, trying to make these things mandatory. And when they did this, their own infrastructure couldn't support it. They literally had like, you can only charge your cars on odd days or even days, and it was like, well, how am I not supposed to go to work if I can't charge my car?
Yeah, but that's because they're still trying to maintain. So the thing people, not that I'm a tree hugger by any means, but the thing that people neglect or to consider about gas cars is how much electricity do you think it takes to turn a barrel of oil into gas for your car? It's a lot.
Yeah.
Like you gotta take the whole cradle to grave kind of consideration, right? And there's not a huge difference when it comes right down to it.
Well, the maker said electric cars undercarriages are smooth like mannequins.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, like a Hot Wheels car.
Yeah. The biggest maintenance item on most electric cars is brakes, because you don't use them, right? Like I can drive from here into the city and home and not use my brakes. Like,
Is that because as soon as you let off the gas, automatically yeah
you get regen. So, and I mean, my car will come right to a stop. And trust me, I've driven a lot of sports cars in my life, and I love them all. Like I at one point had a Porsche Cayman S, and I mean, this thing was just loud, and loud enough that a cop pulled me over one day and said my car was too loud, and I said, it's a stock exhaust. What do you want me to do? But I love the fact that I can drive now and not make a whole bunch of noise. Maybe it's just because I'm an old geezer now. I don't know, but you know, that's too loud.
Yeah. My truck is like a blacka. It's like that.
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't buy an electric car because, I can save the world. I bought my first one because it would hit 60 miles an hour in like 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, like 2.3 seconds, whatever.
Yeah. Like I had a Model S that was my first one, and it had 1,100 horsepower and 1,100 foot-pounds of torque.
That's insane.
It was crazy.
So
but it was cool. It was cool.
So those you can charge on 110 and 220, right? Just obviously the 220.
Yeah, I only charge. There's not much power on 110, right? So I have a regular 220 volt charger in my garage, and 99% of the time I charge here.
And how long does it take for a full charge?
I don't know. I plug it in and it's charged in the morning.
Okay.
Like it charges overnight when rates are cheaper.
Okay, which makes sense. Yeah, I think you're going to definitely see more and more. I think that people are still like sketchy because you can't go to a mechanic. That's going to be kind of a dealer-only repair type vehicle, right? And we've had such a bad taste in our mouth in the statesides that these companies just, raking us through the coals. Like you're concerned, like, are you going to buy a vehicle later on down the road you can't afford? Did you just put, you're doing something to be self-conscious of the environment, thinking it's a better economical decision, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, but they have long warranties, and like I said, I haven't ever taken, other than this battery, I haven't taken mine back to a dealer. Well, they don't have dealers; they just have these service centers. But
so, curious, as we went down this rabbit hole of electric cars, who in the audience actually drives an electric car, or would you actually consider driving or purchasing an electric car? Just curious.
I did work with a guy. He was on my team when I had a real job, and he drove a what's that big Chrysler thing? The
300.
It was something with a Hemi in it anyway. Yeah, and he asked me. So one of the things that's always a bone of contention with people who like gas cars is how long does it take to charge, right? And it's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes at a supercharger. And he goes, well, it takes me like 5 minutes to fill my car. I said, yeah, but I can drive to Mexico for free. And when I had my first one, it had unlimited supercharger use. I said I could drive to Mexico for free. I said, how much would it cost you to drive your Hemi to Mexico from here?
Yeah.
And I mean, gas was cheap then.
Yeah. Do you see this message from Tim?
Oh, Tim. Yeah, I saw my message about what I printed today. Maybe you can tell us what you did. Oh, I should have brought one in actually. So I've been playing a lot this week with the X201, their new UV DTF printer. It's pretty sweet, I gotta say. So cool. Tim he was asking me if he called me today, and he was asking me if he could print on vinyl stickers. I don't know. I got some vinyl. I'll give it a shot. So I whipped up a sticker for him, and I then immediately tried to cut him out of his customer deal. I just, give me your customer and I'll go print these for you. But he said they're going to want too many, and that becomes a job for me. So, but yeah, the 01, I don't think I would use DTG. DTG just seems kind of to me. And I don't think it's the 01. I think it's just DTG. I don't like that kind of soggy look it gets when you're done. Plus, you have to pre-treat the material and then press the thing on and or heat it after you're done. So, like, DTF looks so much better.
So the big difference between DTF and DTG is exactly what you just said. DTG is injecting the ink into the material, right? So it has to be absorbed. So it's a little bit less of ink because it obviously can't pull through the material, right? It just has to be in the top layers of the fabric or whatever you're going, wood, whatever it is.
Yeah, it doesn't look as sharp either.
And then DTF is on top of it, kind of like glued to it.
Yeah. So I took, let me see if I can bring up a photo here. Let me share my screen if I can figure out how to do that.
But a dialed-in DTF versus DTG, as far as the resolution, you shouldn't be able to tell the difference as far as.
Oh yeah, well, so that I don't know if I have the thing. I mean, I didn't do anything, so it's certainly not dialed in by me.
Right.
But let me show you what happened here.
Yeah, but the touch, the feel, is drastic.
Yeah. So the DTG, which is obviously the one on the right, feels good. Like it just feels like material, right? But it just, like I said, it just seems kind of mushy.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks off.
Now this is just like some old T-shirt that I had. So, and I like the crispness of the DTG.
And the one on the right was pre-treated before?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it should.
I actually printed two of them. I printed one that wasn't pre-treated, and it actually printed better. But of course, it's not going to stay there, right?
Right.
So yeah, I just I don't know. I wasn't that impressed.
Is that 100% cotton T-shirt?
Yeah. Yeah,
it should look the same as DTF.
And that's the other thing, right? Like I showed this to Tim because he does a lot of T-shirts, and he said, what kind of T-shirt is it? 100% cotton? I said, yeah, it's like it's old, but it's still cotton.
Right.
And I don't know. It just, the fact that I have to use a particular material bothers me too, right? Like a DTF print, I can put on anything.
Yes, literally anything.
There's real advantage to using it.
Yeah, won't crack, none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let's see, I don't know. It's cool that I can do both.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Skill Anonymous. Rick, I just emailed you a picture of electric car I worked on a GM in the 90s. If you care to share so far how far we've come. I've downloaded that since, and let me share.
Is that the famous little red? Well, I guess I don't know if they were all red, but I've only ever seen red ones. What was it called? Yeah, this.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Want to rotate the picture though?
I'd have to download it. That's how he sent it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, the EV1, that was it.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, and they would only lease these things, right? Like you couldn't buy one because GM wanted them all back. And
are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So you would lease it, but everybody who leased them, it was all. I mean, they were expensive, right? So everybody who leased them were like ecologically sensitive movie stars and things, and they all loved them. Like, you're never taking my car away. Danny DeVito had one. And then GM pulled the plug on it, and they pulled them all back and turned them into little metal cubes. I think there's like 3 or 4 left that are in, like one is in the Smithsonian, and there's not too many of them around anymore.
I wonder what to do with that. You almost think that like that's somebody buying out the patents and say, we no longer want you to make these.
Yeah, I got a feeling it was big oil.
Yeah, that's
getting to the government and stopping this before it got out of control, right?
Exactly. Chris said, but electric vehicles range is the biggest problem here until it's more recharge points and faster charging.
Yeah, Australia's a little bit different because it's like 3,000 miles between anything, right? But I mean, my car will do 500 kilometers. The newer ones will do more than that. They're up to almost 600, which is on par with what you'd get with a tank of gas. And my argument is always there's more plugs on the planet to plug your car in than there are gas stations. So
Yeah.
Worst case, you knock on somebody's door and say, "Hey, can I borrow your dryer plug for an hour or so?"
I've run out of gas. Can I give you $10? I brought my own extension cord.
It's not really an option with a when you need a gas station, unless the guy happens to have like a tractor or something that's not diesel.
It was like right early on when it was like a big, still, Tesla is still new. I pulled in our grocery store and they installed those superchargers. And if you wanted to stereotype a Chinese person, there was a Chinese family and they were all taking all these pictures of the car, right? And they had the doors open, the hood open, and it was charging. And it was probably what looked like it was one of the younger persons in their family, and the older generation was all there looking at, and he was showing them the car, and they were taking a million pictures of it. And I was so mad at myself I didn't record this, but I laughed. I pulled up, slowly next to them, kind of creeping in my truck, and it's like blah 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 blah. And they're looking at me because my truck's so loud, and I'm looking at them because I'm laughing because they're all taking pictures of everything. And I said, "You know what's wrong with it?" He said, "What?" I said, "You got to put gas in it." It was just one. They were like, "What?" But they didn't get it. But that mean guy who was going crazy.
So my neighbor who bought the Chevy Bolt, he has the same charger plug that I have now. Like it's a Tesla plug. It's that NACS plug.
So I imagine they're trying to make that like a standard, right? So that
it is in North America now. So all the Kias and Hyundais, all the offshore ones that are electric, they all have that plug in North America now.
Yeah, and that makes sense because you want to be compliant or backward compatible where you go.
Yeah, it means that all the Tesla drivers lose that kind of snobby panache when they're at the supercharger and they plug in, right? Because there's the Chevy Bolt right beside you.
Standard Engraving. The electric cars have instant power, no lag.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like you get like my Model S that had 1,100 foot-pounds of torque. That was available if I was driving at highway speed and I just hit the accelerator to the floor. That 1,100 pounds is available instantly.
Yeah, like you're ready.
Like there's no spool up of a turbo or anything, right? And it's a very different drive than like I said. I mean, I drove some pretty sporty cars and they all went fast, but it's not the same. It's not instant.
Yeah. So working for the power company, at the parking garage at work, they have like a whole floor that's just for electric cars. Oh, yeah. And then they have some kind of
course they would. They're the power company.
Yeah, they have some kind of discount that you can pay for and have like a card so you can charge there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, electric at a discounted rate.
Yeah. That's the like anybody who's young and wants a fast car, electric cars are the way to go. Like my Model S, when it was at full acceleration, was pulling more than 1 G.
That's crazy. You want to take this one?
Chris says, petrol and electric both have the same problem of available electricity and fuel. Fuel can be cut off at several points in the supply chain. Yeah, so like I said, the one advantage I have is my car is charged off my roof. Now, if it rains for a week, it's not gonna charge, but it'll pull it off the grid. But the fact that almost all of the miles I put on my car are free is a big difference.
My next car will be fully electric.
And there's lots of them now, right? It's not like you don't have to go to crazy Elon and make him richer, right? You can go to one of 100 different models of electric cars now.
I saw this picture going crazy on Facebook. It was a Tesla, and it had an attachment like you were going to. Have you ever seen when someone puts a small wheelchair, like those battery operated wheelchairs, behind their car?
Rascal or something they're called.
but it attaches to like the trailer hitch, and it just has a small little square thing that the wheelchair rides up on. So they had that trail, a small. It's like, I don't know, 2 feet, 3 feet wide by 3 feet wide, right? Just a small rectangle square box that's attached to the trailer hitch receiver on your car, right? And on the back of the Tesla, they had a small Harbor Freight generator.
Oh yeah, you see these all the time. These pictures. It's like,
yeah,
okay.
So they're worried if they ever got screwed, stuck somewhere. They got 5 gallons of gas. They could fully charge.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, people talk about range anxiety. I mean, I've driven my car halfway across the country, and I never had any concerns.
Yeah, I think my wife talked about it too, and I think someone from like my wife, that's perfect because she drives 3 miles to work and 3 miles back. Anywhere we go in far as a family, we take my car, so. But
which is generally the worst pollution part of the curve in a gas car, right? Is that short the first few miles,
right? But the problem is that they're still very expensive. I think when the price drops,
they're coming down a lot though. There's some new battery technologies. I mean, here we're going to open some portion of the market to Chinese EVs coming in. It's small. It's like 0.25% of our car sales, but that'll help keep the price better. And I mean, all of the batteries that are other than what Elon makes, they all come from China now, right? And they're moving to like sodium batteries, which have no chance of fire. They have high current capacity, and you can just hammer these things with charge, and it takes like 5 minutes to charge them to 80%.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think that as of right now, I would consider an electric car a luxury vehicle. And the reason I'd say luxury vehicles because they're in that price range, right?
Yeah, but like a Model 3 in the US is like 35,000, right? They're not huge price wise.
Right, but the problem is it's 35,000, then all these dealerships charge 8 to 12,000 above MSRP.
Well, yeah, I don't think. I mean, Tesla doesn't do that.
Everyone does that right now. It's very rare.
You can order one online, like
I know that's
dealerships, right?
That's what's so stupid. Like literally, when I bought my Dodge, you go to the Dodge dealership, they're charging you 14,000 above MSRP. I'm like, I have a Sam's account. They're like, what does that mean? I'm like, I could go through Sam's and buy a brand new Dodge, like with my Sam's discount at this price. And they're like, okay, we'll give it to you at that price. But otherwise, they wanted $12,000 above the MSRP. So I paid like $2,000 under, which was just insane. Yeah. Again, I'm going back to the whole thing of the trust issues. That's why people have trust issues with these dealerships, because they're just going crazy. Like I've drove Dodges my whole life. Like you can buy a 4-year-old Dodge that's brand new right now, because it's still sitting on the dealer's lot. What does that say? Yeah. You want to take this one? I can't hear you.
That's because I was on mute. Well, I wanted to play this video and I didn't know if it had audio. So, So Radu sends me this video of some guy driving an electric croc. Like the shoe. It's like a 1-seater.
Let's see it.
It's a purple croc. I wouldn't drive that, but I know people who would.
You want to take this one?
AG Restore. Oh, AGT Restore. Yeah, okay. Says there are those of us that actually tow campers, trailers, and electric vehicles won't work. Yeah, I mean there are places where they're not good for everything, right? But you're going to see a lot of them in trucks, tractor trailers. Like they're out there now, right? And I mean these things have like 1,500 to 2,000 miles of range. Like they're just insane.
Yeah, all Walmart semis are all the new fleet, maybe not electric. That's insane.
Yeah, there's. I mean, certainly Tesla has one, but there's some coming out of Europe too.
No. I was saying Walmart's saying that going forward, all their new fleet vehicles for shipping their stuff, their semis are electric. They still have some trucks that are being used that are gas, diesel, but it was crazy when they showed that, like how like they even look like kind of supersonic because they're being as much aerodynamic as possible as a big
Yeah,
box.
those are the Tesla ones. They signed a big deal with Tesla to have those. Yeah, it's. I mean, it's in part because the things are rated for like well over 1 million miles, right? So, diesels last a long time, but not forever, not like that. So
yeah.
O1 compared to hay gears. I knew this was going to come. It's going to sound shitty, but I like both of these, but for different reasons. So the hay gears, if you want to do 3D printing of models like game pieces or whatever, it's the only game in town, right? So it works really well. Its UV printer is on par with a Eufimake E1. The O1, I think, is going to clobber everyone in the market. In part, I'll say because it's X-Tool, but what that really means is it's super easy to use.
I saw someone doing something I thought was pretty slick. Is they took painter masking tape and they put down reversed up the sticky side up, and they put it in the UV printer and they printed just an outline, a silhouette of whatever they're printing. So that way that they could go on a laser and cut out the blank. Set the blank directly in the same spot as where you want it to print, and then send it back into the UV printer. They print it on top of it. And I was like, no, that's cool.
So one of the things that X-Tool is doing, and this is why I think X-Tool is going to clobber everybody, if you buy into their market, right, if you believe in their products, basically, you buy an O1 and you buy maybe a P3, a CO2 laser. You can create a project in X-Tool Studio and say it uses 2 devices. And the first device is the O1 and you print things out, and then you're going to move it. The second device is the P3. It will print on the, like, you can print out your shape on the UV printer. It'll put these little targets on it, and you can just drop it into your CO2 laser and push the start button, and it will cut it out.
So it creates a registration mark, just like a printer plotter then.
Yep. So you can do print and cut that way.
So that's exactly what this machine behind me does. It'll print like these little weird symbols, and it reads them and knows where the edge is, because I can pull that print off, laminate it, put it right back in that same machine because it has those registries, and it knows where the edges are.
Yeah, I mean, the downside certainly for some people is you got to buy into the X-Tool experience, right?
Right.
But I don't know. I mean,
there's certain bells and whistles that they're going to have.
Yeah, I mean, I've had lots of arguments with people who love light burn, and if all you ever do is laser cutting, light burn is okay, right? But the thing about X-Tool Studio is I only have to learn one tool. I can literally take a design, like I'll be able to, whenever they update the software on my metal fab, I'll be able to print something on my O1 and take it over to the metal fab and cut it out of metal. Like
they made them all compliant within one software.
Yeah, cool. but the thing is, it's one piece of software. So if you know how to use it for, your CO2 laser, then you automatically know how to use it for an O1. So the learning curve is 0.
That's cool.
And that's the thing they're selling, right? The technology is the same as everybody else's. They might be a little better, but you pay for it. But so what you're buying is the experience.
Yeah, the interface of software and the user experience, which is.
Yeah, I mean, they're turning your shop into a bunch of appliances, right? It's like you got a shop full of toasters. You push a button and it works.
Cool.
But
it's a premium price though, so
I know. But if you're getting paid by the hour, saving 10 minutes here or there makes a big difference, right?
Yeah.
From a profit perspective. So
Trade School Anonymous says they were all red, and there were 12-volt lead-acid batteries, and yes, a lease only. And he said crushed all except a few museum pieces. See, that had to have been a patent thing where somebody bought them out and said no longer make these.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I mean, there was obviously some political motive there because they're not going to pull them all back and crush them for no reason, right?
There was a reason. Someone said,
"Hey." Yeah, somebody said, "Hey, GM, yeah, we'll do something magical for you if you get rid of those pesky electric cars."
Exactly. Chris said it's easier to tow a trailer full of gas than to tow a trailer full of electricity.
Maybe, sure.
Although you have these new trailers now that they're have enough batteries to power 2 towns, and what they're doing is in major outages like we're having right now in our areas, they'll drive it to your town, and they backfeed the substation and they power your town off this trailer.
These are probably atomic batteries, right?
They're insane. Yeah.
When I worked in the atomic energy business, we were making atomic batteries for the DEW line, the NORAD defense network up north, where there's like literally nothing for 1,000 miles in any direction. Right? They put up radar stations, and the only way to power them is with these things. So it was just like a thing on a trailer.
Yeah. But
it could power the thing for the next 50 years.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, enough to power an entire town. Like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they're small reactors.
Radu said, did you check your email? That's one you're talking about earlier. I'm just catching up in the comments.
Yeah.
Roy said full-size electric pickup, $73K plus. Can't hardly justify that. I get it, but like a Dodge. Okay, so this. Oh, speaking of. Okay, so Dodge Rams. I have a Laramie. Every option. It's like 117 to 119,000, right? I just saw we're talking about the SRT8s fast. Supposedly they're gonna have a new Dodge Ram with an SRT8 motor that's like supercharged, and it says right on Dodge's website $58,000, and I'm thinking like. How is it $58,000 when it has basically like a Laramie interior, like just the interior, like the Supreme sound, the leather seats, like it has carbon fiber inserts. Like, I'll buy that truck tomorrow if that's the case. You know what I mean? Like what is it? What is it gonna have? Cardboard seats in this? So you gonna sit on a milk carton or something? Like how's that $58,000? But I hate it when you see these car show cars, right? You go to the auto show and this car is beautiful, and you're like, oh wow, and it comes out, you're like, wow. I think that's gonna happen. That 58,000 is then gonna have a 1 in front of it.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, when Elon started talking about electric cars, he was talking about the $20,000 electric car. We're still waiting for that.
Yeah. So he said he was going to make it the most affordable car in the United States. $20,000, everyone can.
I mean, if you consider cradle to grave, it's pretty close, but it's the sticker prices, you're paying a premium for sure.
Yeah, but like I said, that to me, personally, is the reason that I think that it's a higher end price is that yes, the electric part, but the whole reason I think it's a higher price because you're buying a premium car, you're buying a luxury car. It's like saying you bought a Mercedes or a Cadillac, and why is it more than a Chevy or a Ford? It's still, to me, that classification of car. It's still at some point it may be the same as a Ford or Chevy or Dodge, but right now the stigma is still it's in the Mercedes Cadillac class, right?
Yeah, not so much a Model 3 though. A Model 3 is like driving a Camry, right? Like it's.
Well, you could still buy a Mercedes that's a 2-door hatchback. I mean, you know what I mean? Like they have their models. You know what I mean? I drive a Mercedes. How much was it? $12,000. You know what I mean?
I had a C class for a while. My wife loved it. She hated the fact that I got rid of it.
Yeah, my wife, when we were younger, she had a Mercedes 300 C class. Yeah,
that's what I had. Yeah.
She loved that car.
Yeah, it was smooth.
Yeah, it was a nice car.
But it made me feel like an old man before I was an old man.
Trade Skill Anonymous said, if printers look fun but don't have it to, I'm sorry. If printers look fun but I don't have a use case, I don't know that I'd have fun the first 30 days. Then watch ink slowly expire for lack of use, just outside of current needs development. Also,
Yeah.
you can't just let it sit. Like it has to, you'll ruin things. The print heads, like that printer that's even behind me. Like you notice that print because every so many hours of it not being used, it just uses itself, cleans itself. It does stuff because you'll ruin print heads that are very expensive.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen to a lot of these, right? Now, the one thing I like about the O1 is the maintenance. It's the UFIMate E1 took self maintenance quite far, right? Because previous to that, everybody who had a DTF printer or a UV printer was maintaining the thing every couple of days, right?
Mm-hmm.
The UFIMate stretched that out to probably a month. X-Tools 01, so they do a white ink recirculation. It's not just stirring in the tank, it's actually pumping it through all the tubes and through the head and back into the tank to keep all the crap out of the tubes. So it's designed to, it takes that E1 experience one step further, and it seems, if anything, it's a little over aggressive about it, because if I don't use the thing for like an hour, it goes into some kind of power save or head save mode. And I'm going to ask Xtool if there's a way to extend that time a little bit, like 4 hours surely is not too much.
The one thing that I say is that anyone who kind of freaks out about this type of maintenance didn't do the research before buying it. Because let's forget DTF printers, let's forget UV printers, all that. Your normal printer in your house that you print every day on a piece of paper, it's the same thing. If you never use that printer for months on end and you go to use it, the blue's not printing, the yellow's not printing, the black's not printing, it's the same print heads. Like, so it doesn't matter.
That's my printer you just described there, by the way. Every time I need it, I spend an hour cleaning the heads.
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't use it, I mean, that's why some people have black printers only, because they're not using that, and it's just less of a headache.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of things that, in part, manufacturers didn't sell or didn't disclose. Certainly, the fact that the print head is a consumable. Yes. That was quite a shock to people, and I've actually had to replace this recently, the print head in my UFIMate E1. Now it's 18 months old, so I think I did pretty well, but I had to replace it.
Yeah. And all I can say is that anyone who has a printer and you want to extend it, go on YouTube and type wet capping. It's a solution you're going to put on your printer. If you're going to have it sit, you're going to go on vacation, it's going to save you $1,300. Learn to do that. You'll thank me later. Trust me.
Trader Skill Anonymous says, yeah, but they look fun. And they are. Like you can do some really cool, selfish things for yourself, like just for yourself, right? You don't have to sell things, but the problem is if you don't keep it busy, you will shorten the life of the print head, and you'll be taking paste out of the tubes. And
the printer behind me, man, that thing's connected to Epson, and if I don't follow the maintenance thing, I could ruin the warranty. Like it knows, it tells you time for a manual cleaning, time for this cleaning, time for that cleaning, and if you skip it, it knows, it saves it on the cloud.
The thing, so with the Hey Gears review, there was a lot of comments because that video did quite well, but a lot of people said, well, it's very expensive, I'll wait for a cheaper one. And it's like, there will certainly be more of them. I doubt that they'll be a lot cheaper because Epson makes all the heads for all of these things, right? And they have no incentive to make them cheaper.
No, everyone's using their print heads. So the best print heads. Yeah.
And you know, the hay gears, like the US price on it is like, I don't know, $3,600 or something. But
So,
1,300 of that is the print head.
yeah, exactly.
And the O1 has two print heads. Now they're the 1080s, the F1080s. They're not the I-5200s, so they're cheaper anyway. But still, they're $500 a piece. So there's $1,000 worth of print heads there, and they're consumable. That's just how it is.
You want to take this question, Steve?
Ready says, and what about ink comparisons? Changing costs, availability. Yeah, so the X-Tools ink prices are kind of in between the Eufy Make E1 and the Hay Gears. Hay Gears ink is relatively cheap, like 300 milliliters for, I think, $29. So figure $10 for 100 liters. That same 100 milliliters, that same 100 milliliters from Eufy Make it was 10 times that price or close to it. Now it's probably 3 or 4 times that price. As soon as the Hay Gears came out and they announced their ink prices, Eufy Make dropped their ink prices drastically by 30%, 30 to 40%.
Hopefully.
X-Tools kind of in the middle. So, I mean, it's ink. It's consumable. You got to use it. It's the whole point of having a printer, right? So,
and the whole thing too is that there's going to be bargain ink, but if you put a non-OEM ink, no manufacturer is you just voided your warranty. So
yeah,
in the warranty phase, I wouldn't even go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, and this is the thing about the Hay Gears, right? So they allow you to use bottled ink, like they give you bottles, right? And you stick it in the hole and you squeeze it into the reservoir for each color. And, you know, so in theory, you could use someone else's ink. Do you want to? I don't know. Because there's some pretty crappy ink out there, right?
Like the other thing that people don't realize is that when you change inks, it has a color profile. That printer is set up a way to identify all blacks is not black, all whites are not white. Every color is a little different. And when you change inks, you know, like with DTF and DTG, if you use different, you have to get either a professionally made color profile, or you have to be provided a color profile from the manufacturer, for the ink manufacturer, to take that color profile and install it in your software, your RIP software, so the colors are accurate, because they're, you know, inks are different. Yellow's not a yellow, black's not a black, you know, red's not a red.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like the manufacturer ink prices, you know, Eufy Make is working on their price, so it's still a bit high. But the like Hay Gears and X-Tool, their ink isn't like insanely expensive compared to what you can find on Amazon.
I'd stick with it. That, to me, that would have been part of my initial review process of what I wanted to buy, the affordability on the ink itself, because I wouldn't want to ruin my printer bargain shopping ink. You get a bad batch of ink and you just ruined a really good printer. That sucks.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can buy good ink too, right? But people won't. They'll buy the cheapest thing they can find. And
yeah. Straight Skills Anonymous said, anyone on the panel or audience use
Ubiquity gear for home networking? No.
Nope. Never heard of it.
Well, Ubiquity is a big networking company. It's more kind of commercial than home stuff. But
it said, I'm on a 10-year-old Orbi mesh. I'm on a mesh too. I loved Netgear Nighthawks. I have 4 acres, and I had it in my basement. I could go all the way to the outskirts of my property, and I still had full bars on my Wi-Fi. And now with these wireless meshes, I say they're just crap. And the only reason you have good signal, well, look, I'm buffer sometimes. That's why I have a hardwired. Is because you have 4 or 5 of them throughout your house. They're not as strong as they used to be.
Yeah, I had I have fiber everywhere in my house, and I had at one point 4 Wi-Fi nodes, like individual nodes, in my house, and I switched them all to a mesh 6 or 7 months ago, and I got the Linksys Deco ones, but I got the mesh, the nodes that have um, a fiber, well, the option to put a fiber cable into them, so I get full 10 gigabits. And
Yeah, I had the Linksys Atlas Emaxes. That's like a 3 satellite, and they had a lot of issues. They had firmware issues like crazy.
yeah,
They got rid of those, and then I got the Orbeez. But man, it was expensive.
yeah, they're not cheap.
No, it was expensive. It was very expensive, actually. I'd have to look it up, but I was very surprised that Wi-Fi we're at that level. That's over $1,000 for Wi-Fi router, right?
Yeah, the problem with most of the standalone Wi-Fi routers is they don't handle, like they'll say, well, we're Wi-Fi 6, so we can do 10 or 20 gigabits of bandwidth. The problem is the thing going into it is still only a regular Ethernet cable, so at most you're getting maybe 2.5 gigs in. So it's kind of a dumb thing to do. But
Yeah,
the fact that on this Deco one I can plug fiber directly in, like on my phone where I have like proper Wi-Fi, I get like 250 megabits per second easy on even if I'm outside. Inside, it's like 600. Like, it's crazy fast.
Yeah, so it's an Orbi Quad Band 7. It's $2,000 I paid for that.
Yeah, well, Ubiquitys will be in that price range too.
I paid more than that when it first came out. I had it the day it came out. It's like, man, just nuts.
Yeah, Ubiquity networks will be expensive too.
Yeah, and it's $800 to add one additional satellite. Like I would like to add an additional satellite, like in my woodshop area, because I have all that ductwork above me. I wouldn't mind taking another one, but for $800, that's why I just ran Cat 6.
Yeah, well,
I ran 2 Cat 6 pairs to my bamboo printer, 2 Cat 6 pairs to my laptop that runs my lasers, and then I have to still run 2 Cat 6 pairs where my desk is in the wood shop.
Yeah, in the worst case, you can, if you need more, you can just drop a switch there and get 8. You're splitting the bandwidth a bit.
I have a rack in my basement, like a 100-port switch.
Yeah.
So I'm just running them straight home runs.
Yeah, I used to have a big Ethernet switch in my server room, and I just got rid of it. Now I have like a 8-port fiber switch in there, and it runs out to the edges. And if I need more, I just put another fiber switch in. Like, I got a fiber switch sitting right here.
Nice. Bo the Maker said, I drive a 16 Ram Eco Diesel, which I love. Not looking forward to replacing it. I didn't buy into the whole Eco Diesel. Last year. I wanted to buy a new truck, and they weren't doing the Hemis. They're doing away with them, but they brought the Hemi back.
What makes it an Eco Diesel? That sounds like a contradiction of terms to me, but
it has some like stuff on it. I drove diesels all the time, but I drove 6.7 Cummins, right? Yeah, but I'm not. The Eco Diesels are like a smaller diesel that would be in a standard pickup. Because the Cummins, you'd see it like in a 2500, 3500, right? You wouldn't see it in a 1500. Yeah.
Hopefully, this isn't one of those things where they took an aluminum block and put hardened steel sleeves in it and called it a diesel.
Yeah,
like a Cummins will be a cast iron block, right? Like, it'll be a serious piece of machinery.
Chris said, Jim, I was about the value of upgrading to a mesh system didn't work for me. Zero problems with the hardware though. Yeah. I think the whole idea of the mesh is that it's a redundancy throughout your house to create a stronger signal. But the reality of it is the reason you need redundancy is because the wireless routers are not as strong as they used to be.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it depends what you get. Like the Deco ones are higher power, but still, I could use a third. I could use a third. I have 2 nodes, one at each end of my house, and I could use a third one somewhere in the middle, probably.
Yeah. So I have 3, one on each floor, and I could use one more.
Yeah, like here in my studio, I don't have anything that's Wi-Fi other than my phone.
Yeah. All right. Skylar said, I didn't use my Ep1 for 8 months. 2 days ago, I started to test it to sell it. It gave me all kinds of errors, and now it's trash. Oh, man. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't have
Yeah.
those.
Well, so first, the ink and the cleaning cartridge will be expired. That's probably some of your errors. But you will, if it was sitting unplugged for 8 months, the head's probably turned into a brick by now.
Yep, it's done. You'd have to replace the head. You can't unplug those. They have to be plugged in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just shoot a message to Eufy Make and say you're never going to review another one of their things unless they send you a print head.
Yeah, just like this printer behind me, like they literally charge you if you want remote access software that's directly built into the printer, so that you can remotely print and do maintenance while if you're away. It's like if you have remote access into a computer, you don't need remote access into the printer, right? Because you can do it that way.
Can you do it from like your computer right now? Can you connect to that and do maintenance?
Yes.
Well, you should be able to do it remotely then.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, instead of directly remote access into the printer, I would just directly remote access into a laptop that's internally in my house, and then remote access into the printer. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, set yourself up a VPN. Use something like Tailscale or something, and
yeah.
Tailscale is nice if you need resources inside your network outside. Tailscale is a cheap way to do it.
Never heard of it.
It's like a VPN, but it's only accessible by you, and you can give all of your internal resources domain names so that you can go to like HTTP, ricksplace.tailscale. something, right?
I used to use GBridge all the time. Man, I loved that. You could literally create NAS servers like at different locations, so you could have mirror image servers. So let's say you had a NAS where all your videos are being updated, right? But then in a complete different room or a complete different site, you have another hard drive. You could have it automatically say, "Oh, something's not the same." It's every now and then it's checking and just automatically sync and map it. Map link drive, remote access, complete remote control.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. And then Google just decided not to support it anymore and took it off. I was so mad.
Most of those things require you to like open a hole in your firewall to get in, which means someone else can get in. Tailscale doesn't work that way. Tailscale is it's like a VPN, but it doesn't require you to punch a hole in your firewall.
Yeah, you weren't opening like port 8080 or something like that. It was the same thing.
No. Well, you could, but it's not available to anybody but you.
Right.
Because what it does is makes your computer makes an outgoing connection on its Tailscale node, and Tailscale says, okay, when you log into Tailscale or use that domain name, I'll take you to your resources.
Yeah, it piggybacks on it.
Yeah. So it's like a third man in the middle kind of model, right?
Yeah.
And it means that people can't just bang away on your firewall to get in eventually. And
Chris said, unfortunately, they have to run maintenance cycles based on worst case basis. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's in defense of companies like Eufy Make that took a lot of abuse for some of the things they've done. this is why they're doing it, right? They're trying to protect your print head. And it's easy to look at and go, oh, they're just trying to get me to buy more ink or do whatever. And that's not their intent. I don't think. I had a long conversation with them about this.
I was trying to see if I had that print head solution to show it. I know I showed it last week, but literally just go on Amazon, Google it, print head solution. It's a wet capping solution. And if you're not using your printer all the time, you should just put like 2-3 drops on your print head where the print head sits down and rests on top of.
Yeah.
You'll see that little rubber thing that it sits inside of. 3 drops, just like literally like eye drops. That small amount of moisture, yeah, it's gonna save your printer. So half a penny's worth of solution can save.
Yeah, what Xtool did was they actually have a vacation mode. You can just say I'm going on vacation, and they say you can leave it for a week, but I got a feeling it's longer than that.
Yeah,
because all they do is they suck all the ink out and put in and put in solution, right? Like,
yeah, Epson says you can't use your printer. You can't not use it for. They say the maximum is 1 week too. I asked, can I go on vacation when they were here training me? They said no. I said, what? No. So it said it can never not be powered off. It can never not be plugged into a network. Either you have to remote access control it if you ruin the printer longer than a week if it was turned off.
Why didn't they just make the ability to print a job every once in a while?
That's what I did. Do you see that? So rather than me running a print head clean, which is going to just like run through a shit ton of ink that I don't need to, I have it print like if I don't have done the print every so many whatever, it just prints that. Then after it prints it, cuts it off.
Yeah. Now, is that your printer doing that, or are you getting your computer to do like a cron job or something? Yeah.
Yeah, my computer just running a job. Yep.
Yeah, because that's the right way to do it, right? Like you don't have to maintain it, and if you ever forget, it's not a
right. And then that's every single color, all the gradients is like you can kind of see it. So it's basically it's kind of like running a print head within the print, right? Print head clean within the print. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Tim says I sell boutique gear. Boutique, what is that?
I sell Ubiquity gear. I don't know if he has sold it.
Chris said my Asus mesh reaches the far end of the park opposite my place, about 50 yards, 80 meters.
Yeah, mine's actually not bad now. Like my lawnmower is always connected when it's out in the yard. And I mean, my yard is like an acre and a half, right? So,
speaking of lawnmower, I think mine's dead.
What?
Yeah, I think it's dead. Keeps giving me crazy error messages about its wheels. Yeah.
Sounds like a NASA rover problem.
Yeah, I don't know. It says like the wheels are overextending or over, like it's spinning out and it's not. Like it just goes.
Is it a motion mower?
No. It's no, it's not. But
just in the standard support role, I'll say, did you turn it off and back on again?
Yes. Yeah. But apparently I'm not the only one, so I don't know. Schedule Anonymous says, I like the idea of a PoE Wi-Fi access point. I deliver up to 10 gigs. Yeah, I have 10 gig ports. I don't have PoE, so I think I would use Power Ethernet if I was using it for cameras. Otherwise, I would have no.
That's what I have some PoE switches, and that's what I use them for. They just plug my cameras into them.
Right. So I have Ring for my cameras. Skylar said it was not just the ink expired. My stir motor was dead too.
Yeah, that might be a known problem though, Skylar. Send them a message and say, hey, your printer stopped working. and
Chris
see
said
what
my
they say.
NAS auto backs up to my offsite NAS since I started dropping Google and Microsoft Cloud. Yeah, see, that's what I'm telling you. Like, I think part of the reason Google dropped that is because they figured, like, why have we been giving this software away for free for like the last decade? Or maybe they use that software to refine an enterprise platform, right? And they're like, okay, it works. We proved it.
Yeah,
And then more of an enterprise software. And I tell you what, if they would have told me like, hey, this is going to cost you $125 a year or $300 a year, I would have just said paid, because that software was so awesome. Yeah.
yeah. I
I
got
like
rid of my Microsoft Cloud a while ago. I still use Google Cloud, but I'm on a free account.
Yeah.
Because my NAS has like, you know, I don't know, 48 terabytes of space.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm something stupid like that too. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Larry said I bought the Xtool Omni UV printer. The vacation mode is 2 weeks. It was a great printer. Yeah, good luck, man. You know what? If you're not already a member of, because I think today was your first time joining, we have a Facebook group. Let me share it. If you go to shoptalklive.club, that's not a website. That's just an auto forward for our Facebook page, our Facebook group. You should drop some of the stuff you're making, man. I really, really would highly suggest it. And then as a community also as well, if you have any issues, questions, concerns, the above, everyone's always willing to help each other out. So also anyone else in the live, if you're not already a member, join, sign up today. Let's see where we're at. Oh,
Chris,
Radu said, Rick, you had my question about Headgear's ink up, but never read it. Sorry.
yeah.
What was that?
Okay, Radu says, I thought you mentioned Headgear's ink could be replaced as one unit, like going from UV ink to DTF. Yeah, you can do that. So all of the ink reservoirs are in one block, and you can literally rip out the entire ink system and plug in something else. And currently they have the standard UV inks and then resins for 3D printing. I hear rumors about other things coming, DTF being one of them. So, you know, and that aspect of it is nice because, like, you literally turn 3 screws and unplug the manifold off the top of the print head and pull out the entire, like, literally the whole ink system goes, and you plug in another one. It takes about 5 minutes, and then you go through some kind of cleansing to get the print head ink switched over.
So I have a question. When it prints DTF, how is it drying or curing the ink?
I wondered this question too, because I did a DTF print and I pulled it off the printer and then I accidentally touched it and it smeared, and then I took a piece of towel and I wiped it and realized the entire thing is liquid still. But what I did was, if you let it sit for like 10 minutes, it becomes kind of like it hardens, right? Okay. So as long as you don't mess around with it for 5 or 10 minutes after it's done printing, it'll cure. I guess the ink, I don't know if it's water-based or alcohol-based or something, but whatever liquid is in it evaporates pretty quickly, and the ink cures.
As far as I was aware, all DTF ink is water-based.
Yeah, and I guess that it's water that's evaporating.
Yeah. So in most, like you have I have you see that?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you call a mini shaker. So it actually sucks it in the bottom. It goes through a cure, and then it comes out the bottom, and then that black thing right there, it will pull it up on the loop.
Yeah. Now, if you have in the X Tools world, if you have a Wonder Press, I think it takes care of this. Yeah, it was actually, was it today or yesterday? I was watching the DTF print happen, and it's like, how come the UV light isn't on when it's printing? There's something wrong. Oh my God, it's dead. And then I thought, well, my other DTF printer doesn't even have a light, so
Yeah, that thing has, I think, like 6 or 7 lights that when it's going through, it's drying it.
Yeah.
So first it comes in and it's dropping powder on top of it, and it's automatically shakes the film to knock off the excess power, pulls it into another drying area, and it has like 8 little heat lamps that it's going through, and then it blows it, and then pulls it and wraps it on another roll. So it takes it
So it's
from
got a built-in oven then, right?
yes,
As well. Yeah.
yep. So it does it all, and that's called a mini shaker because most shakers are like 8 to 12 feet long.
Yeah.
So that's why they're called that mini. Like it's pretty expensive because it's all compact in one. And but it's draws a lot of amperage and it's pretty loud.
Your wife lets
Yeah.
you know every time you turn it on, right?
Well, it's like because it's constantly banging, right? So
Yeah.
it's knocking off the powder. It's like bang, 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 bang. So it's like an annoying sound, like da, 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 da. Like somebody was, it's like I'm not
like an MRI machine.
I'm not touching you. You know what I mean? Like one of those things. It's not loud enough to really annoy you, but it's annoying you because it's just constant smack noise.
Yeah. But yeah, I just let it sit for a while and then it cured, and then I put some powder on it and baked it.
So my question is that if you didn't have a shaker, but you had a heat press, you could probably put that under a heat press at like 320 for like 8 seconds and cure it instantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, but
So like the heat press,
I'm never in that much of a rush. So
yeah, if you had to order, you'd get out. You don't have 10 minutes.
yeah, I mean, if I was Tim and I had to make
Right.
800,000 T-shirts in the next 2 days, I might consider that. But
yeah, so Chris said, I think it's amusing router companies being forced to upgrade hardware due to remote mowers. We're getting in the Jetsonaires, man. Like literally stuff that we watch in cartoons as kids has become a reality.
In my house, like most people have like a single subnet, right? So you got like 255 IP addresses and you're good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm borderline now getting ready to set up another subnet because I'm running out of IP addresses.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Like, I mean, all my smart controls for lights and thermostats and my lawnmower and I mean, everything is connected.
So people tell me all the time, they're like, aren't you worried about, you're being tracked, I said, the moment you step out of your house, like, come on, let's just be reality. Like the man is watching you, right? So my entire house is smart. Like every light switch, everything is on the grid.
Me too. So
smart meter, I mean, everything.
So when COVID started, the conspiracy theorists decided that the vaccine was injecting trackers into people so that you could. And I said, somebody told me this, and I just about fell on my ass. But they said, like, oh yeah, you're going to be tracked. They're putting these micro trackers in. I said, they don't have to do that. And they said, why? I said, they know exactly where you are all the time. Because who's going to leave home without their cell phone?
Right. I'm going to say this out loud. Socks, shoes, book bags, makeup. Guarantee when you guys go on Facebook later, you're going to start seeing ads. Socks, shoes, book bags, makeup. That's how many people actually that starts popping up. Like, they listen. There's no way. You can't tell me. Like, my wife and I laugh about that because we're talking about something. All of a sudden, you're on Facebook or you're on Amazon, that's popping up. Like, how mysterious is that? Like,
well, yeah. So there's certainly that going on, but the creepy aspect of some of the algorithms that interpret you, they can generally predict what you're about to think about.
Yeah, it's crazy. I downloaded this because I have a PC now, the Norton Tracker. And it's insane. Like you go online, you try to use the internet, and it's like it's hesitant. You're like, what? Why is my internet being slow? And it says blocked 17 attempt tracks, blocked this, blocked that, and it's like Home Depot's website. You're like, oh my god, like with 17 intrusion attempts from Home Depot's website. Like,
So Home Depot's search engine is bad. So anybody who's got a NAS, I run a Pi-hole virtual machine that just blocks trackers, and it's I recommend everybody put one of those. It just becomes the DNS server you ping rather than your central DNS server, and it strips out all the ads, it strips out all the trackers, and you can actually go and do a report. And about 25-30% of my traffic is ads and just shit that I don't want to see.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And it's stuff you're paying for bandwidth. It's mostly unlimited, but you're still paying something, right?
Right. And at the end of the day, it's not like a hacker trying to steal your credit card information, but that is slowing down your computer. That is slowing down your internet speed. And that's your Home Depot. That's your Best Buy. That's your Walmart. They all do it, you know?
Yeah. So when I turned the Pi-hole on for the first time, I couldn't search on Home Depot anymore.
No.
It's like, what the hell's going on? And I can go and see what it's trying to, what requests it's trying to do. And it's like, why is it failing on Home Depot? And there's some, I don't know, some data mining thing that they got in their search engine that's trying to come back into my web page.
Yeah, it's brutal. When I first launched it, it's a little slow, a little laggy, and then boom, it'll come up and it'll tell me, allow me to view the website, but this is what it stopped. And then going forward, it's going to stop it, but it's hesitant at first. It's kind of crazy. Gary said the stir motor on the E1 is known problem.
Yeah,
it can be either the software or hardware needs to notify customer support. So there you go, Skylar.
Yeah,
unless you threw in the towel and you're like, screw this, you know.
So on my on my production E1, I didn't have this problem, but I did on my prototype one before I got my production one, and they showed me how to tear it. Like I was literally tore the E1 down to nuts and bolts and fixed it. And like they sent me a video, do this, and I fixed it again. But yeah, it failed. And they said, yeah, we know this is a problem. And it depends. Like Skylar, yours would have been one of the very early production units. Because you, like me, you had a prototype one that you sent back, and they sent you a production unit. They were all the first run product units, so they would have all of these weird problems.
Trisco Anonymous said, I have a 48 terabyte. Let me repeat that: 48 terabyte rack mount NAS remote. Wow, good job, Chris. Most people don't offset redundancies as primary NAS. Yeah, that's insane. And 48 terabyte, I don't know what you're doing unless you're an OnlyFans video editor.
Mine's full of video, right? But mine is, I think, 40. Well, I have 48 terabytes of storage, but then I have parity drives and cache drive. Like I've got 4 terabytes of cache drive.
Yeah, I think I have 8 terabytes, but it's 4 drives, so it's only 16 terabytes because it's NAS, right?
Yeah. I did an expansion, I don't know, late last year.
I only have a 4-bay, but Chris said one day I'll work out how much hard drive space I have, and I'll just to learn how to count that high. Yeah.
Yeah, I figure when I fill stuff, if it gets full again, I'll just delete things because I don't need all this stuff. Chris says, Steve, I hope that is IP4 you're talking about, not IP6 addresses. Yeah, it's IP4.
I like these little guys, these little HD Western Digital little passports.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those. There's a lot of fake ones, and if you crack it open,
Amazon for sure. Yes, I would agree with you.
Yeah, if you bought them direct from Western Digital or I bought directly from.
But I like it because it's a read write speed is really fast. And if it's on my Mac, I had maxed out my storage, so I use that a lot on my Mac. Yeah, but anyone who uses a hard drive that goes between Mac and Windows.
If I would like, you can get 64 terabyte solid state drives now at they'll say quote unquote a reasonable price. if I was wealthy in any way, I would certainly put those in my NAS just
Yeah.
because they're fast, right?
Yes.
Like they're, I don't know, 5 times as faster than a standard hard drive. So
Kristen, I'm glad I'm wearing headphones. Let's see if Google is listening that way to send ads to their phone. I know. I'd laugh when once in a blue moon in one of my videos that say Alexa, or talking about Alexa, and you'd hear somebody are like, "Oh God, you made my Alexa go off." But yeah, it's funny.
Boofer says, I consider Norton and McAfee viruses. Yeah, well, they can be. They drain way too many resources on your computer. That's true.
So I was a big Kaspersky user before the United States boycotted Russia. I love Kaspersky.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great business model, right? You create the bug, the virus, and then you build a virus scanner to find it.
Hence why you're probably the best, because you might have invented it to begin with.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. My general policy is, and don't I don't ever click on links in email ever.
Yes.
Like I don't care who it's from.
Math link or whatever. Yeah. Hover over it, whatever.
Yeah.
At my work, they make us take so many training classes on all this spear phishing and all this stuff because even on my phone, because I access my work through my phone is so locked down. It's my personal phone. It's not even their phone. They make us take, and I got caught once. But when I got caught, it was the company actually testing. And you get caught 3 times, they fire you. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. But yeah. They said agreed Uber. Okay, so if I don't like McAfee, to me McAfee's like, I don't think they're always up to par as some of the detections. I agree 100% on Norton, but so what do you say is better? I'm not disagreeing about the resource hub, but I don't know anything better. From going from a Mac where that's not really a concern back to a PC, which is highly a concern.
It's less of a concern on a Mac, although they're getting better, possible. Right? They're getting the people who are trying to get into your machine are getting better at doing it, even on Macs.
Right. It's possible, but it's you're definitely going to get something without protection on the Windows, 100%. You know what I mean?
But this is so. I mean, my parents are well into their 80s now, and they like to use their computer for browsing the web and stuff. And this is the guidance I give them, right? Don't ever click on a link ever in email. Don't care who it's from.
Right.
And well, what if it's from, my sister or whatever? It's like, don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah. So I called Norton support virus day one. They looked at it and people thought I was crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's,
I was worried when I called Norton support, right when I first installed it, because I was having some issues. And it was like, if you want a stereotype tech support, where you're calling. And they remote access my computer, and I was like, they fixed everything. It was cool. And what it really was that I use I use my own domain email, and it was scanning my inbox. And you will not believe how many emails have like little trackers within the email. They'll do
just like the famous thing is just like a 1 pixel image, right?
Yes.
And underneath that image, there's a hyperlink that goes somewhere.
Yeah, but it detects it. So I was like, why are you locking up my email? Like, what is going on? And they're like, try opening your email more often. When, if you're only opening every 3 days and all of a sudden you got 1,200 emails, 1,300 emails, it's like resource hogging your computer. And they said, this is what it's doing. Look at all these. And it shows this icon on the email. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a virus, but it has some type of tracking cookie or whatever.
Yeah, it's for tracking.
But if you would have opened it up at 300 emails or 200 emails or, not 1,300 emails,
My
you know,
email
wouldn't
just
even
runs all the time. Do you actually stop your email application?
What's that?
Do you actually stop your email application? Mine runs constantly.
I shut my computer down.
Oh, see, I never turn my computer off.
Yeah, I turned my computer off. So, yeah, I was bad at that with Mac. With my Mac, I pretty much always had it on. And in my other Windows, I never liked to close it because I had the multi monitors and everything set up the way I like. So I just like, dude, okay, cool, I'm good to go. And I only rebooted it when it was like sucking. Like something's not working right. But this new computer, I turn off every time I'm not using it.
Well, that's because the thing is a furnace, right? Like it's probably heating your house.
Yeah, this thing's crazy. Morning. Okay, so on the other side of the world.
Obviously, calling from the other side of the world. Yeah.
There you go. Thank you for joining. Good morning. Let us know if you have any questions.
It'll be morning here in about 8 hours.
Tim said, I can still remember when Norton was free. I put it all in my system back in the day, mid-90s. I got a question since you brought up mid-90s. What's something you had in high school that you wish you still had today? Steve, do you have something?
Well, there were a couple of girls in high school that I wish I had sometimes. But I have a fine wife. But
I posted that on Facebook, and Santa's Labor Engraving replied, well, there was this a cheerleader in high school.
Yeah.
She ended up being my wife, but you know, I said I wish I still had my Cutlass, my high school car. I think that's why guys are they become successful.
Yeah. See, my high school car was a lime green Datsun B210.
Okay.
With 187,000 miles on it. Miles, not kilometers. Mm-hmm. I don't want that back. although I got it for $500. Spent like my entire life just doing nothing but trying to fix the brakes. And when I graduated and I went off and found my first job, I left it at my parents' place. And I don't know, a couple of years after I left, my father said, "Hey, do you want to sell that car?" I said, "You know, how much?" Now I paid $500 for it when I bought it, and I drove it for 5 years through school, and I said, "How much does he want to give you for it?" $500. I said, "Sell it."
There you go.
After a whole bunch of years of working on the brakes, I finally did get it to all four wheels to lock up. Usually it was two. Sometimes it was two on the corners. It was really bad when it was two on the same side of the car, I can tell you.
Oh, man.
And it didn't have a key. The actual key on the steering stock was screwed up. So my key was a screwdriver.
Oh, man. That's hilarious. Whoever said me too, they just horrible piece of software. That's what I'm saying. I'm not arguing the Norton's a resource hog. I 100% agree. I'm just saying, what's a better alternative for a Windows environment? What do you think?
Just don't connect it to the internet.
Like Roger has a bunch of laptops that way.
Yeah, I have some computers that I don't ever connect.
All mine are on it. Yeah. Chris said I have a 1 gigabyte file that I copied to a new device to check if the FAT had been hacked to sell cheap large capacity drives. Yeah, I did that. I bought actually for the Insta360 camera. If you don't have the ScanDisk Extremes, the camera will suck. It has to have has to be able to read and write fast. If it doesn't not about the storage capacity. The read and write speeds have to be fast. So if you don't have the extremes, it'll have a lot of problems. Freeze, lock up, just stop recording, all kinds of stuff. And I bought 1 terabytes and I got them and they were fake. They were like 100 megabytes. Like, you know, I was like, what the hell? And like they did a good job faking it because from the outside, it looks legit. You know,
yeah. So, SanDisk SD cards they're faked a lot.
Yeah, but I was
Hey,
just surprised.
you didn't send me the contact for?
Yeah, I know. I do owe you that. Let me when we get off the. I still have to create all our next month's lives.
Yeah,
So
I'll be
do that.
bugging you about that next week if you don't. So.
No, I'll get that done this weekend, and then I'll find that email for the Insta360. I should have I think 2 or 3 different people I was talking to about all that, because I have, at least when this camera was out, everything that goes to this camera. I mean everything. Like there's not an accessory I don't have. I have everything they sell for this camera. I have it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily care too much about accessories, but the DJI Pocket 3 the user interface is terrible on it. Like put it like it's got the same button on screen, which is already awkward, that controls zoom and pan and tilt. It's like, so I can only do one of those things at a time. Oh, I got to zoom in. Okay, let me hit the button and turn it into zoom up, turn it back to pan. It's like, this is retarded.
Yeah.
So I don't use it. I mean, the thing I've used it for, it's maybe have an hour and a half of recording time on it.
So
Phil says, "Hey friends, Steve, I watched your Hey Gears video. So good. Thanks. The 3D models turned out awesome. Yeah, I think they're going to get better too. As my beta unit it's pretty well. I've beaten it up quite a bit, but they are working a lot on thing. There's a couple of bugs in the slicer where it prints weird stuff, and I saw one of those or a couple of those. So they're working on a lot of things. So I think it's definitely going to get better, but it's pretty good now. Like if you're printing things that don't have too many vectors in them, it prints well.
So I can't believe I'm reading this. Tim says, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but as a computer shop owner, Windows Defender has been the best I've found. I just find it hard to believe.
The one that's built into Windows, it's passive, right? Like it's.
Yeah.
That's I have one Windows machine, my little pocket PC thing, and it runs Windows Defender, and I don't think about it. It never runs when I'm busy with it.
You said I've been using Bitdefender for a while.
Yeah.
I've been happy with it.
Yeah, I tried Bitdefender on the Mac, and it works pretty well. Now,
Yeah,
I never found a virus on my machine, but it didn't slow me down just being there.
Yeah, Kaspersky literally came up and said, "We've been banned from the United States. You already have a 1-year subscription to the software, so you can uninstall it, we can reimburse you, or you can use the remaining of your license you've paid for." And I'm like, well, I'm just going to use it anyways. And I think you actually made fun of me when I said that when that first came up on me, Steve. I mentioned it live and that happened. And then about 2 months later, I got a message that said, we're going to uninstall and reinstall the software. And they basically, I don't know if they sold the company, but they changed their name. Or at least the state side of it was the name. And I says, nah, it sounds like risky business. So I just opted to just uninstall and lose the remaining of my subscription. But once annoying. Tim said, I agree, but I would never say it out loud. Yeah, that's why I said I just kind of like.
Yeah, it's it works. They all have the same virus signatures that they track, right? So.
Yeah, to me, it's not even the viruses that I'm worried about. It's all the spyware, malware, adware. That's what I don't want on my computer.
Yeah, but none of the well, Norton, I guess, probably has a thing to take care of those. I think Bitdefender does too, but but those aren't your real problem. They're just that just lets them know that they need to send you an ad for breakfast cereal.
Right. I just don't want it on my computer. Yeah, that's
that's why I have a Pi-hole separate node.
Yeah.
Because then I don't have to do anything to my computer other than point at a different name server.
Chris said, when I use a link in an email, I have to start putting in it in deliberate spaces and tell the recipient so they trust me and they can trust the link. Yeah, that's why if I ever send someone a link, even if it's all the way across the whole page, I'm going to tell you the exact. I don't like to do that. The mask, and just like link,
Yeah,
and then
like a
link.
shortener.
I don't do that just because people are hesitant to click on it.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of the day, you have to click on it. What difference does it make, right?
Brad, who said, high school, I still had hope.
He wants hope back.
That's what he had in high school.
I'm trying to think. I don't really miss high school.
So many people said that they hated high school. I had a blast, man.
I did
I
too,
definitely had some growing pains. I went through some challenging times in my high school, but I'd say maybe the man I am today. But as far as like adolescent teen years, I had a blast.
Yeah, I mean, I had fun too, but I don't miss it.
Yeah, no, but I say I had a blast because like I think this generation, like my daughter's generation, they're just such nerds. They're like such good kids, like they don't have life experiences. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't fail at something.
They never snuck out back behind the school to have a smoke or
no, like, like I told my daughter, like, she's like, can I have a party? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, you guys can't drink here, ha ha ha. And they're playing board games. Like, you guys are 19 years old. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, the next generation doesn't drink very much.
No, they're playing board. I'm like, you're 19 years old. You're here playing beer. Like, we're having fun. We're all laughing. Blah blah. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's probably good education that made them a little smarter about drinking. Yeah. Certainly, drinking and driving. Right. I mean, when I was in high school, it was nothing to go to a party and then drive home. Right.
Yeah. I read yesterday online, they said in the United States, there's more people that openly admit that they, on a daily basis, smoke marijuana than smoke cigarettes and drink any type of liquor. And I was like, wow. It's crazy. Chris said, the universal key, a screwdriver.
Yeah. Well, the doors had a key lock, but the key didn't work. So I just ripped the actual actuator out of all the key mechanism and just used a screwdriver. Kept it on the floor. I mean, no one was going to steal that car anyway, but.
Okay, so this is probably a good person to ask this. I didn't even think to do the clack name 3 times. But being in his professional career, he would definitely probably have some advice on this. PC-Matic in whitelist mode for the past 10 years. PC-Matic, I've never heard of that. I have to check that out. Yeah, let me just Google that on my phone. And I'll take a look at that later. Yeah, you type in PC-Matic, the very first thing comes up is Norton ads. Above the list, it says these are paid advertisements.
Well, if you were going to advertise, you should advertise on your competitors' links, right?
Yeah, versus yourself. That's hilarious. That's good marketing right there. You know what? That is something wild. If you had a competitor that does something the same as you, that's much very larger than you, rather than using the key terms that someone be searching in your name or things that are in yours, if you literally use somebody else's name because they're going to come up high, and you come up for them, that's a pretty slick marketing trick right there.
I've had something like that happen on YouTube. I had 2 companies. I won't say who they are. I did a video about one company's product, and the other company took out a promotion on that, because you can advertise on any video you want, right? So they took a promotion, like an ad, out on my video, and they pointed all of it. I mean, it pissed me off because it screwed up all the analytics on the video. they in the promotion where it tells you, you can list all of the people you want to target. Now it's like a laser ad. They were targeting like single mothers and housewives and kitchen, like cooking, like a whole bunch of things where nobody who was interested in those actual things would want to watch my video. So they'd click on it and then they'd just disappear after a couple seconds. So the analytics just went to crap. And it annoyed me a lot, to the point where I said, I'm never going to review another one of your products.
Oh, wow. Oh, so it was them that actually did it. I was thinking a competitor did it. They did. Two
competitors, one the video was about, and the other one didn't like the fact that I did the video and was advertising but sending the ad to all the wrong people, so that the retention went down to nothing, so Google or YouTube stopped recommending it, right?
That sucks.
So yeah, it annoyed me to no end.
Chris said I like high school because I wasn't woke driven back then. Is that what he's saying? Or work driven?
Could be woke, because the E is right beside the W.
He said woke.
Yeah, there you go.
Air quotes woke. I used to be.
I don't know how that's become a bad term, because what's the alternative? Sleep. I'm sleepy.
No, woke is like
aware.
Yeah, it's a political thing, right? Like,
I know, but I think it's a word that's been hijacked by politics for the wrong reasons, right?
Because I used to use alcohol as an auto homing device in my car back in the day. Right, he said, according to chemistry, alcohol is a solution. There you go.
It's the solution to all your
That
problems.
joke of the day. All right, guys, we actually are at time 8:30 today. Some very interesting talks that went by very fast. Not a whole lot of questions, but we did have some very good talks and some good laughs today. I appreciate everyone joining. Happy hump day with me today. And Steve, you want to close us out?
I have the X201 videos coming out soon. Lawnmower videos coming out soon. I've got the Light Make L4 forehead 3D printer sitting on my workbench. That's the one I've been working on. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
If you have aspire to have a print farm, that's the one to get. And that's where I'm at for the next little while. After that, I got a couple of CNCs to look at, and then I'm finally going to stop reviewing crap so I can do some projects.
Nice one. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. By the way, next week we have a special guest, so I'll announce it and post it on our Facebook group. Surprise special guest. So, all right, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for joining and spending some time with us.
Take care, all.
Bye. Thanks, Steve.
See you, man.